Bells will be ringing, the glad, glad news.
Hi there guys, it's Stuart Williams from Thirlmere Deacon. I'm here sitting in Berkeley Square in Mayfair with Luca Davis from our SA partners over in Birmingham. Luca, say hi.
Hi guys.
What I wanted to do is sit down and give you guys a bit of insight into the service accommodation model that we are implementing into our One BHM site in Birmingham. So, Luca, if you've got a few minutes, can I trouble you for
you guys through it? No
for
problem.
a few questions? So first things first. What is, for those that don't know, what is SA? What is the service accommodation?
So, effectively put, service accommodation, it's the renting of residential apartments. So we take your standard residential apartment in Birmingham and we rent it out to our corporate clients and holiday makers on a nightly basis. So that basically just helps improve the rental returns on the property and effectively eliminates any downtime that you might necessarily get with a standard AST.
Okay, superb. And in Birmingham, you know, we're sitting here in Mayfair, one of the most visited cities in the world, London. Birmingham, does it have that sort of demand?
So, funnily enough, it's a question that gets put to me by my family pretty much every day. How do you still have a job? Are people coming to Birmingham? And you know, it still surprises me every time, but yeah, the demand in Birmingham is through the roof at the moment. So we've got the corporate side of things, we've got the development of Paradise Circus. I'm not too sure if you guys are familiar, but it's a massive regeneration that's seen PwC move their head offices there. HSBC have set up as well just next door. Not only that, but we've got the HS2 train line. So at the moment, there's a lot coming in towards Birmingham. A lot of people that need accommodation on a short-term basis that perhaps can't go to an estate agent. They might be there for 3 to 4 months. They're not really in a position to commit to a 6-month AST with an estate agent. They would rather pay a slightly higher price and pay by the night, but have the flexibility to say, do you know what, my contract's ending next month, I need to move out, and then we can say, no problem, we'll get somebody else in. As well as that, surprisingly, I do get quite a lot of people come on holiday to Birmingham.
Holiday, tourism to Birmingham.
Yeah, so I mean, perhaps it's myself being from Birmingham, wouldn't be top of my list of destinations for a holiday. I personally prefer a beach, but surprisingly, yeah, we do get quite a lot of holiday makers in Birmingham. I think it's around 17 to 20 million people a year on holiday in Birmingham, so quite high volume.
Okay, and with that begs the question, so what type of client, what type of tenant are we working with?
I would probably say that it's around 80% corporate, 20% is either kind of your weekend bookings or your holiday makers. Right. So when I say weekend bookings, of course we eliminate your kind of parties, stag do's and whatnot. Tends to be couples on a break or families visiting the city for an event at the NEC, for instance. There's a lot happening at the NIA, concerts, sporting events, athletics. So tends to be 80% corporate, as I say. Like I say earlier, your PwCs, HSBC, Deutsche Bank. So yeah, anyone that's kind of coming into New Street needs to be working around the Cornwall Business District, for instance. So yeah, a lot of corporate bookings.
Okay. How does the SA model differ to your standard traditional buy-to-let AST?
So effectively, we can guarantee the rent for the period of the contract. The benefit for us is obviously that we take on the risk. We charge the nightly price. The good thing is that for the 4 years that I've been doing it, I think I've had 1 or 2 bad months. Both of them were January. First one was January. You know, the January blues.
January blues.
So the first one was January 16. Did have a bad month. As you can tell, I remember it vividly. But other than that, it's a fairly safe model. If you don't have corporates coming in, for instance, in January, you still fill the voids with your kind of like at least the weekend bookings. As a very minimum, your weekends have to get booked. Right. That's kind of like the set rule. Weekends must get booked, and then you aim to fill your Monday to Friday with your corporates. So it's effectively a safe model because I don't need to get somebody in for 6 months. You know, I can get somebody in for 1 or 2 nights.
That's the thing. So from what I understand, you're where the major difference is with a standard AST, you're charging a monthly rent.
Of course.
With a service apartment with service accommodation, you're charging by the night.
Correct.
Yeah. So the returns and the income,
of course, increase because of that. So yeah, it's the you know, we've got some landlords that would have traditionally achieved 725, around that a month.
So for a 1-bedroom Birmingham City Centre, let's say St Paul's Square. That's it.
Yeah. So around there, kind of 725, 750. You could push up depending on parking. Now, with our management model, we'd of course offer a percentage fee to the landlords.
Yeah.
They would then get a slightly increased figure on the rent.
Right.
Of course, with that, there's not then the security every month. You're not too sure what you're going to be getting.
Right.
If I achieve 2,000 on a 1 bed in a month, brilliant month. If I achieve 1,005 maybe low, then you may be looking at around the original figure of an AST anyway.
So worst case scenario,
Worst
you're
case,
looking at what you'd actually get. But in a good month,
Yeah.
you make up for that with with the heady hikes.
Now, of course, that isn't for everyone. A lot of landlords, you know, understandably with mortgages going out, they do just want a little bit more security.
Yeah.
They want to know they're going to be getting paid $750, whatever the rent is, on the first of every month, and it's going to come in, which is understandable. So we do also offer that model where we will rent the apartment, guarantee the rent. Just means that the landlord knows exactly what their rental return will be as well. So,
and that is exactly the model that we're taking on at One BHM.
Yes.
We've got a 5-year fixed net return at 5%, which, you know, for a city centre apartment is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's backed by Luca and his team implementing their model, putting in short-term and corporate lets, charging by the night, and achieving, you know, high and medium returns, but paying a fixed outlet.
That's right, yeah. So of course, when you spread it out over the block, it's effectively run as a hotel, I guess.
Yeah.
So a part hotel, it would be kind of best described as. Yeah. So it just helps because obviously cleaning procedures and whatnot are all in one place, easily managed.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's going on. And generally speaking, you get to sell the block rather than an apartment by apartment. So yeah, you know, touch wood, there won't be any downtimes. As I say, in the 4 years that I've been doing it, I think it's two or three quiet months that we've had.
But
the up months more than make up for that.
There we go. With that in mind, you mentioned a couple of obstacles or a couple of sort of concerns or downtimes that you've had. What are the major obstacles and concerns that owners have when they turn their property over to you?
Yeah. So I mean, the main concern that I had initially.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get quite a lot of traditional landlords and investors who, you know, they've only ever rented on an AST to somebody for 12 months, you know, and that's all that they really know. So when I first speak to them about the service accommodation model, it's all a little bit new, and some people don't quite like the idea of having a high turnover of people.
Yeah.
The easiest way that I can kind of get over that obstacle for them is effectively explaining that our properties are professionally cleaned at least once a week. So if we have 3 people in there within that week, it's professionally cleaned 3 times that week. Each one of those 3 people will pay a deposit and have their card details at the reception.
Right.
So if anything, it's a little bit more secure than your 12-month tenancy, where you might have an estate agent that won't visit the property for 12 months.
Yeah.
There's the potential to have that handed back with damages, you know, in a not so nice condition.
We've all been there as landlords.
Yeah. So sadly, that is the reality, and of course, the law is in favour of tenants more often than not. So with us, as I say, we get to go in as and when we like. It has a deep clean at least once a month, professionally cleaned at least once a week, and after every guest moves out. So we're constantly in the apartment, down to the point where if a cheese grater or a potato peeler is missing, we know there and then. We go through the inventory, the cleaner checks it, lets me know, it's come straight out of the tenant's deposit.
Superb. I think those are all of the major questions that we have on SA. If you guys have any other questions about the model, about the Birmingham B1HM site that we're implementing with Luca, that we're offering to our investors, please get in touch, comment below, and we look forward to hearing from you. Again, Luca, thanks a lot.
No problem at all. Thank you very much.